Ladies and gentlemen, Hard Nosed Derby Podcast. We're back. Tell them where we're at.
Remote location out in BFE at the Legends Crib shop.
Oh, yeah. I see a car on the left.
What's
Couple
this
A to Z
shit?
cradles sitting around.
Mr. Eddie Chick.
How's everybody doing?
And I think you've got somebody sitting right next to you, too.
Maybe.
Maybe. Well, we had a huge weekend of derbies around our area.
For sure. Yeah, there was, Eldon, Vandalia, and Huntsville.
And then Border Wars.
Yep. It kind of looked like all these derbies on one weekend hurt the car counts, which was to be expected. Which Madison looked like they pulled a smart move.
Some people thought it wasn't a very smart move. Of course, that's another one I get to announce.
Right.
First thing they
Announcer
asked,
more.
well, like I
Here's
said,
your whole bag.
not no more. But it did give some guys time to get their stuff done, and the guys that
Well, not
were
only
actually-
that, it wasn't three shows competing for the same car.
correct.
Because you
Within an hour
take
and a half each.
Vandalia to Huntsville,
That's not very far.
it's a little ways, but it's whenever you've got cars that are in the center, you're talking 45-minute drive to each
Yeah.
direction.
Yeah, them guys.
The car counts hurt because of the amount of shows.
But all the stuff that I saw, videos and Snapchats and Facebook stuff. They
It looked like Eldon was
yeah,
wild.
they didn't mess around at all. So Stanton Border Wars,
Looked like Illinois brought the house down.
they did. But man,
Yeah,
Looked like they were hauling a bunch of junk home today.
I didn't get to watch. I watched part of the first night, but I didn't get to watch the second night because we were in Huntsville.
Well, I know, like Tony Miller, I got a Snapchat from him. He said that his was not track fixable. So he was bringing it home, going to add some plates and stuff to it.
but we had
Looked
talked.
like Jerry run into a little bit of bad luck.
We have talked about this guy so many times. James Kitchell, I watched Friday night, and it was pretty much junk. There was no ass that went down. It was snooted pretty good. And he run it down the third last night. It's like the dude just, wherever he
He's
goes.
a wheelman.
Oh,
Yeah.
my God. The Turner boys, stupid hard wagons. Just stupid hard.
What about Hill? Horn delete.
2.0.
I heard he was grabbing third gear coming across that track.
I witnessed it because I could see his arm.
You talking about Brock?
Yeah.
Bro,
Oh, yeah.
he went out Friday night.
They said he was backing up, waiting. He'd find a shot.
First heat came out on Friday night, and the first heat took an hour. And I thought, man, this is going to be a long-ass night.
Well, it almost looked like a replay of some of the stuff you've seen, like Hot Springs.
Yes, it just took forever.
Yeah.
And they had 12 cars in the heat, and they run it down to the top three, and the top three went straight to the feature, no matter what state they were from. Heat number 2, out comes Mr. Austin. And
It
during
didn't
the
look like
interview-
his was track fixable either.
Did he make it to fifth gear, I guess?
Well,
Sounds like our
Snapchat
revolutions per minute got
yes,
the best man.
Snapchat of number 4 cylinder decided it needed to exit.
Oh.
Yeah.
Air cooling window?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It air cooled. But they actually had him come up. He was voted as, that show was sponsored by Gladiators of Steel, which looks like an unreal show. I'm not sure if it's going to be on YouTube or net. They're talking like it's
Yeah.
like a Netflix series, and it's a 6-part series. So they sponsored this show. So they did, instead of a Mad Dog, they did a Gladiator award. They brought them up. Those guys, talked to whoever they voted the Gladiator was, and they asked Austin. They said, "Well, we know the name." He's like, "You're crazy." He said, in Austin's exact words, he says, "I may have a few screws loose." But they really talked about Terry
Yes.
and Jerry, and Larry. And they brought Austin back up last night to talk to him about the stuff that him and Candace have going on for the Derby
the
series.
Southern Tour, which is killer. I mean, that's amazing what they've done there. The amount of support that has come out of the woodwork for that is crazy. I mean, did you see the championship belts they're having?
No.
Oh yeah, you need to check that out.
Right when we think we have a good idea, somebody jumps on it before us. So,
you know what? Just like any driver, I don't think anybody's ever going to get mad about getting something.
And that would be cool to hang on to.
Well, you keep talking here. Let me find a picture of this.
So we're not going to make the second show over there. We have a wedding.
Oh, next weekend?
Yeah.
We're going to
My
go.
cousin Thomas, his boy's getting married, so we got to go to that. And that's Saturday.
Well, and then you can't even watch it because that stuff is going to be on pay-per-view. I mean, we have done some pretty sketchy shit where we watch something while something else is going on.
Right.
Yeah.
But a wedding or a reception, that's...
You don't think you get the DJ to play it in the background for a little
I
bit?
don't think so.
So Austin's a nut.
Why are you talking?
I don't know. I like to interrupt.
No, you're fine.
No,
Get in on it.
Austin is a nut.
So-
and he'll tell you he's a nut.
So what did this award look like? Because I haven't watched it.
It was, you got a hat. It was their Gladiator of Steel hat, which actually isn't even out for sale yet. They got a hat. And then they also had a Survivor Award. I think Bryce Lanou got one. Somebody, I mean, it was snooted on both ends, bellied out, and they just never quit. So then they would give them a shirt.
It sounds like Landon.
I've been there.
Yeah.
Landon drove his ass off. My
He
hat's
did.
off to him.
For sure.
He drove his ass off.
Well,
He took it.
some of
Gave
you
it.
guys that don't know, the man sitting to my left did win.
That was the winner of our first show.
Him and his partner won our Mother's Day team show.
It was a Ted and Ed show.
Yep. It was a Ted Ed Inc.
No, it
It
was.
was Chick Ink and Papa Ink.
Papa Inc. Okay.
But we had,
But it was the wild adventures of Ted and Ed.
my hat's off to Ted because,
Well, straight out of retirement, grab the dove right there. I mean,
well,
I don't think it was a retirement. I think it was a little bit more of a medical.
it was a forced
medical
temporary
card.
retirement.
Yeah,
There was a-
medical
yeah.
card. Was it 18 months since you've been in a car?
it was like 2 years.
Oh,
You know how
shit.
hard it was to keep my
So-
mouth shut on that, though? Like, he had told my wife and I that, I'm coming. Like, it's happening. We're going to be there. This was before anybody had even signed up.
Yeah.
And he was like, I'm coming. We're going to be there.
Well, he told me at P Hill that his teammate switched,
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
which I didn't know that. We saw the original, team lists as they were signing up, and we were standing at P Hill, and he's like, "Well, I switched teammates." I said, "Really?"
Was I at P Hill?
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
A little
well,
drunk at P Hill.
Yeah, but you know what? I drank all the way from here over there and all the way back home.
We could tell on the phone call that I could tell you'd been in a few.
Oh, yeah, it was good.
Trust me, I was there. I can vouch for that. It was bad.
P Hill's right at
Yes, I
the
got.
end of the family
Yeah, I
tree.
was pretty drunk at P Hill when we left.
Left here.
Not son.
Well, that's just getting a head start on the game.
My wife said I was pulling the repeater while we were over there.
Yes.
But
Oops.
I will tell you guys, I was pretty proud of Teddy here lately because Teddy was always wild like I was.
Mhm.
And when you drive a Ford,
You're
you
being
learn
harsh
how
about
to drive.
Correct.
So you see why I drove the Fords all them years?
Mhm.
It taught me a lesson, didn't it?
Now, back in the day, man, we're talking the day.
I'm
because
cranking
my
people.
boy is 16, and I was younger than that when you were running at Shelbina,
Yes.
and you always brought a Chrysler.
Well, I ran a bunch of Chryslers, had some stack pack
Mm-hmm.
springs. I took one to Wheatland, ended up with third place, and it was junk. I mean, junk. The whole ass was rolled up, and the springs went like a fan.
Ooh.
It was junk. I mean, I
Well,
junked it when I got
separated,
home.
yeah.
It was freaking junk. So
I had
a
somebody-
Chrysler will take you a long way, but it won't either.
Easy.
You know, I thought the Dobas were good, but I thought about buying a couple of them, and I watched some Dobas. I'm like, I ain't built my other things.
Yeah.
They're good for a stock show.
Maybe it's the builder. I don't know.
Stock. You need them in stock. Street stock, they're not.
No, the
I don't
stock
think they have enough
stock would probably be all
rules,
right.
the rules aren't for the Mopar.
No,
And I mean, I'm not trying to be that guy that's like, oh, the promoter's not catering to my Mopars, but you take the unibody Mopar, you know, the
Where you can tie in and where you can't.
right. I mean,
Yeah, that justified where it's going to
I'm
be.
telling you, they're going at the firewall. That's where all of them are going.
Yep.
yep.
You can go look at my cars. You can look at Milner's cars. You can look at all these guys that are building these Chryslers, and all of them in there, unless you can tie them together and hold that firewall, that's where they're going.
I'm telling you,
And you can't fix that.
in between the gearbox and the firewall, they're junk.
They're trash. Because you can go to my house right now, go back there, look at them M bodies that I run,
Mm-hmm.
and every one of them that are sitting back there, they're nosed up, bellying right in front of the door seam where the firewall meets,
Yeah.
and you can stick your foot between the firewall and where the floorboard meets.
Mhm.
And I mean, that's the way it is. Now, in the stock class, whenever you're allowed 6 plates, you can put a couple plates here, and you can cheat here and there.
But now,
Now, there's no cheating.
there's, talking about back in the day, you guys were allowed a lot.
Less.
You were allowed a lot less,
Less,
you can,
but more.
But you can get away with more.
Right, so
Well, nobody knew.
there wasn't any, hardly any plates at all. You didn't have bumper brackets. You had to run factory. And when I first run some caddies, I'm junking Impalas. I was junking them head on. And it rolled right at the curve. You left the shock on top. Your bumper was up high. It rolled up, and it was a battering ram until it hit the motor.
Yeah.
And I junked a lot of Chevys head on with that one Cadillac.
I had a guy actually contact me the other day about one of your old cars. He's like, "Can I run this in Paris?"
Oh, yeah, the
And
Lincoln.
I was like, "The doors open the wrong way on that car
The Lincoln.
to come to any of my shows."
You know, honestly, I wish I would have kept it.
I can't believe it's still around.
It ain't as bad as everybody thinks it is.
Pretty fucking bad.
It's got kickers.
Right.
But those can be removed.
It's not as bad as everyone thinks it is.
They all say.
Well, how long ago was that car built?
Oh, shit. So,
Early circa 1920.
like 12, 11 or 12.
So it's been around.
The brother
10 years.
built it, and it never got ran, and I bought it from him, trade down the hill here.
Right.
And he worked on it a long time, and then it got to where he didn't want to work on it anymore, and I said, hey, I'll just buy it from you. So I got on old school Weed Crash, and I learned about suicide.
You weren't typing in all capital letters on there, were you?
Yeah. Yes.
Looking like
probably.
Crusher.
Screaming!
Crusher
But
and shit.
you had to get on the old Weed Crash forum to learn about those because everybody quit running them for a long time. And then I watched a whole bunch of them run at Mayhem.
That changes the outlook on what they can do. I mean, when they're so wicked that they
Yeah, but it was just like seeing the imps at Blizzard Bash.
it is. I mean, it's almost nostalgic where it comes back.
It's awesome. I love seeing that stuff out there, but we all know what you're going to watch when you see them imps pull out there on the track. They're going to make 3 or 4 nasty,
Yeah.
crazy hits. Somebody's going to knock steering out of it. They're going to go out there and run around it with transmission.
So for me, instead of buying a high price imp, I probably would have took a suicide.
Right.
That's just my preference. I ain't giving $2,500 for an imp, but
Right.
I'd like to have one. They're cool.
Right, well,
I mean, they're really cool.
If I was going to own an imp, it would be to drive daily.
Yeah.
as a driver.
Because, I mean, they're impressive on the track now, but now that you got the 03s and all the stuff that you can do to these other cars, they're not as bad as everybody thinks.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and tell you this. Back in the day, which I know Eddie remembers, Floyd Browning would build a Suey that was just
Right.
stupid.
Yeah.
His nephew, Travis Logan, took it to P Hill.
Yeah.
And they caved in his cage.
The
They
Browns.
knocked the suspension completely out from under it. This car was sitting on its frame.
I
That
watched
was
that.
downtown Alan Brown.
I watched that show.
Broke
Yeah.
ribs. Broke. Oh,
I actually
man.
think I got it on video.
It broke a lot of shit, and that just goes to show you, what something is built to. Which Chloe brought it over here.
Everything's
I think
bad to a certain extent, and Eddie's seen that from the time he started until now.
Oh yeah.
The rules lean more towards something at all times.
Oh yeah.
Like everybody was asking why we didn't allow them to true tilt these Fords. I said, well, whenever you start doing that, it's a slippery slope because then I need to give the metric GMs hump plates. I mean,
You better give more than that.
well,
Because this kid junked his pretty fast. I mean, honestly, they're marshmallows.
Well, that's what they.
you say that, and then you see.
But they did it last. They did it last weekend or this weekend at Stanton. If you ran a metric GM, you got home plates.
Yeah. Baker was,
Yeah, those, to my knowledge, those rules were pretty close to our street stock rules.
I think they're close.
Really close.
Well, I
But
know they
then-
are if they're the same as they were last year because we had those cars.
Oh yeah, after that show came
Yeah.
to Paris.
I mean, we had Trey and Cody and those guys.
Yeah, they brought
were
their
on.
cars.
Yeah, and I wasn't involved in that.
No, you
Well, that's
weren't.
because you were
You
one
was
winger.
drinking
little-
beer.
You were chicken winging it up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kind of like a duck swimming.
Yeah.
Just going in a circle.
But he's back, and we could tell that Palmyra was back.
So I'm not picking on the GMs because I ran against a roadmaster at. It's always canceled.
Warrington. Oh, me too. I was there.
He was there, and I flat out drove his ass. I mean,
Had to.
Mine was bent.
There was something in the back of that wagon.
Well, I don't know about the wagon, but the kid that got second.
You're talking
Barnhill.
about all the guys.
Wasn't it Barnhill? No.
I know what you're talking about. There was like 3 of them there that were in GM.
So they were telling me to get off of him. I had him on the wall whipping. I had him. I put him in there and I had him. And they were making me get off of him. And he was pulling up and I was ramming him back. And they were trying to get me to back off. And I'm like, I'm number one. So George rode with me that night and he broke my tranny line.
But kicked the training line out.
Yeah, right toward the end, he said, "Look," and I said, "Hold on, buddy, it's on right now." Zane, I was throwing mud all over everybody.
I was there. I watched that one happen.
Yeah, you hit mom in the face with a chunk of mud.
Yeah, she didn't kill me, so I'm still here.
You're talking about hitting on the wall. We've discussed this many a times. My wife and I have had discussions about this. That's why we try to make all of our tracks dirt, straight cut berms, and thick. That way you all can get out there and get...
That's the thing. Warrington has concrete barriers in front of the stage,
Yeah.
and that's where he had that old boy.
Right.
I had
in front
him.
of the stage.
Yeah.
And if you've ever been hit up against concrete, that's a different feeling. That's not dirt. I don't care what anybody says about the dirt.
Dirt
It can be
does
hard,
good.
hard.
It's kind of like a
But
sponge.
it'll take some of that. You're up against concrete, it don't care.
So we stopped at McDonald's when we left. They were across the road eating at Waffle House, and his brother came to McDonald's.
He didn't want Waffle House.
Well, maybe he wanted to meet
Maybe
us.
he wanted
He
it.
wanted to meet us, but so we talked to him for a little while, and we come in late. We pulled in late that day, and when we pulled in there, he said, "Yeah, when you pulled in, they all said you were a guy they were going to have to beat." I'm like, "Well, I don't know about that."
Well, it turned out that one.
It turned out good. I was first. Everybody was happy. We all shook hands. I did have one fella. He had some gestures. When it was over, he come up to my hood and he's looking at my car and he's running his mouth. And so I asked George. I said, "Hey, you got my back?" He said, "Yeah." So I get out and I ask the guy if he had a problem. No.
He just wanted to see what
He just wanted to, get a good look at the I whipped his ass. So
Well, now to switch gears a little bit, Eddie had asked before we started recording. We'll get Lish in here too. Let's talk about Boone County.
Yep. July 23rd. 3 normal classes. We will have
One specialty.
We will have the street stocks, the compacts, the gut and goes, which is normal. That will be no pre-registration at all. But now the Royal Rumble for the stock class.
You want to slide over here, dear?
It'll be 30 cars, pre-registration only. If we get, like I said, if we get 50 cars, we will do a live chip draw. We're not going to let technology decide who is going to run and who's not going to run. We're kind of more luck of the draw type of shit.
Well, I've been burnt so many times on Blizzard Bash trying to get in there by letting technology take the lead on that.
I'm starting not to like that place.
Well,
I can't even get in no more. There's no place to stay.
Right.
I'm pissed off.
I've never got to stay up by that arena. I've always had to stay on.
Now, I've never had to stay anywhere but there, but I've usually begged, borrowed, and I had to do some stuff for a guy behind a dumpster one time. But I'm not going to tell you what that was.
All right, we ain't talking about that.
You've got your best friend Kelly Hewer that always hooks you up because Mama Hewer's always prepared.
Oh yeah, I went out there for one day this year.
She's always got me a room, always.
What?
And you had a room.
Well, I got out there and I got hammered drunk.
No way.
I was chocolate wasted. Let's go with that.
Never.
So I got hammered drunk and I was like, I'm just going to sleep in my truck. I'm not leaving there. And she was like, I got a room for a couple of these guys. I'm sure there's a couch up there somewhere. So I started,
who'd you stay with?
Cody and
okay.
Cody and Michael, I think.
And Michael.
Yeah.
On the mic with Mike, I call him. He gets mad at me.
So, Lish, you want to kind of talk about how we're going to do Shelbina and then leading into the... No, you don't want to?
So can we put some...
What
She's giving us... What the hell are you talking about?
So can we put some stunners on people and shit if it's a Royal Rumble?
Do you have the flyer and stuff for Shelbina? Do you have it in there?
Somebody's jumping
An
off
F5 and shit.
Somebody's jumping off dirt burns here.
And Goldberg with the jackhammer. I love that.
Because we've got our flyers for the next 2 shows ready.
Yes.
Boone County will be the next, so we might as well go ahead.
We just got the flyer for
Salisbury.
Hey, if y'all want me to run all that, you better send me a fucking miracle.
Hold on, you got a young buck in here that has the summer off from school.
Headbutts going on. And,
that's already happened this morning.
I'm going to tell y'all something. I'll argue with him. He argues with me, but I love my kids.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to make it happen.
I've always told everybody my kid's an asshole.
Yep.
But he's a respectful asshole.
My kid's turning into an asshole, too. So.
Learn from the best.
But
he's also your ass.
Hey, I'm his father, and you're his father, so he learned from the best, right?
Yep. I've known to be a dick every once in a while.
They might get
I thought this was my dad.
one of these days they might get a stunner.
So, the first show that we've got, our next show is Night of Destruction.
Salisbury.
And that's Salisbury.
June 25th.
Yep. And they're having a street stock class.
Mm-hmm.
It's paying $14, $7, and $3.50. Stock class paying $12, $6, and $3. Compacts is $8, $4, and $2, which I ought to give Gordon a little shit about that. Isn't that his class?
I think so.
Yeah, it is his class. That's his specialty.
That's what I thought. And then their gut and go is $6, $3, and $150. And they're having Power Wheels, of course. You know, like.
And I'm going to tell you.
I think they're going to have the cheapest driver entry of the year.
How much is it, like $10?
$40.
$40 is 50 usually.
And their passenger fee is only $20.
I think there's going to be some fancy smancy Zane-T chip.
Oh, yes, sir.
Trophies
The
there.
dog.
He has built so many of these things
in
in the last couple of years.
And
he's running out of parts that Eddie's breaking. So he
Hey,
don't even
majority
have
of them sitting over there.
Yeah, so we need some more parts.
I see a bucket. I see a bucket.
I was in Huntsville yesterday. Zane comes walking out after the show. He's
With the
carrying
strut.
the strut, coil spring, and everything. And I was like, "Are you strapping out everything?" He's like, "There's another spring, but it's buried in the burn."
Yeah, he says, "Hey, Dad, here's another trophy right here."
So that's a strut. So should be your base for your compact. correct? You try to
Yeah,
keep parts.
That's
parts of
where
Cowboys.
I'm heading for with that one.
And these trophies that he's building are just killer. I mean, I think we've gotten to the point now where people are looking forward to them.
Yes, but the problem is he makes these some bitches so big.
Well, when somebody says go all out,
Yeah, this
And,
guy.
that was perfect though for that parent show. That was killer.
hey, next time I build all that trophy, you're coming here and picking them up. I ain't packing them.
Oh, so the 283 broke the shit because I said that's enough of that. The 283 crankshaft.
Right. Yeah. That was
Yeah, those are
that was a
not-
2-man trophy.
That is a steel crank. That was a steel 283
Ain't that
crank.
the one that had to pack up from
Yeah,
down there?
He done went down there and got it a mile down in the woods.
Him and Jake Reed said I couldn't do it, so I had to go
Oh,
down to the shed
oh,
and pack
yeah.
it from there.
Showing
up
us
here.
off, you know.
At Palmyra, I went and handed Rob his Mad Dog trophy, and Zane was sitting right there. He was like, "Do you need help?" I was like, "No." I went to pick it up, and I was like,
yeah.
Can't act like a pussy, but I gotta do it.
I mean, a super lightweight crank is 33 pounds.
Yeah.
And all
And
he's
that's
charging
all
us
it's
for these truckload of entries free.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah. So I'll tell you how this all started. You guys probably don't.
I got
realize
wrapped
this.
in. I had no choice in this.
So I was blood running, and I said, "Look, son, we got to stay involved somehow." So I said, "Hey, won't you? I talked to everyone for you, and we will try to get you."
So what he's
moved
trying
in."
to say is I basically got thrown in the deep end and told good luck.
Well, that's
Yeah.
the thing.
Here's some junk. Make
You
something
survived.
cool out of it.
So I was like, "Son, I got all this junk around here. You might as well make some cool stuff with it."
A, he gets welding practice.
Yes.
Period.
Yeah.
B, it triggers his creative mind of what he wants to try to do with these things. And that's one thing that we have tried to do as a promotion company is to get the youth involved 100%.
Yeah.
Whether it's Power Wheels, youth class, we have talked about a youth class. But anymore, the youth class, they go run our stock shows. I mean, he started in a youth. He went to Moberly. And then he came to Paris and snooted that bitch to the sky on
and he
both
made
ends.
it to like 8th place
Yeah.
or 7th.
But it
we
looked
had out there that night.
It looked like a V though when it was done with it.
Yeah, and
What
there
did we
was-
have, like 40 stock cars that night?
But
Yeah.
I mean, my hat's off to him because I talked to him a little bit before we left, and I'm not going to tell you what I told him.
Until if you have had to use these force driving a car, you ain't driven yet.
Yeah. So when you can't see, you got to figure out how to drive.
Well, and
So-
we've talked about the youth class a dozen times, and we want to do something different. We're always trying to have a specialty class whenever we do these shows, just to make something fun for everyone to watch, different than what they can go a town over the next weekend and see. Something special, something neat, something new.
Yeah.
And the youth class, it's so touchy because you have to be careful with your ages. You have to be careful with who's riding, who's driving. You know, even if you have a parent that signs off on it, the insurance is still real iffy. And with children, it just,
You mean we carry insurance on these events?
we
"Don't
carry
say that.
one,
Don't say that."
1 million and 2 million for every show, and some of them are 1 and 3.
But
And
Josh Wagner,
I didn't know anything about it.
Josh was trying to do the youth stuff, and he had such a problem with the insurance. He didn't really go into details of what the issue was. I don't know if it was the monetary amount.
That's
of-
why it's
If
always
we-
easier to ask for forgiveness than it is
Permission.
well, and
Yeah.
that's
because
why
they'll cover it one time.
I do.
They may not like it, but
but
they'll
they will
cover it.
it. And
Because there's no
that's why we
clause in
allow
our-
that
yeah.
age. You know, we allow them. So if you throw a 13, 14-year-old into the regular class and the parent signs off on it, we have no say on that. But if we specifically plan on having all youth, then that's when we have the issue. And then the insurance would be, I think whenever we talk to our insurance guy, it's going to be like triple what it normally is.
Shoot.
And that's just for one show. That's
See,
not
this
the
is
whole
why we
year.
keep her around.
No, you're going to keep her around because I like her.
Thank you.
She's my sweetheart. Don't tell anybody.
Well, we have
Somebody's got to
Brains
have
and
something because Steven ain't got no brains.
He's just a brawn.
Ron.
I don't have a this time. I can't make the noise.
John Daly, you don't see him doing that.
Right. Well,
I mean,
he kind of
you know,
light drinker.
you know you're a badass when you take a drink that has been known in the golf world since 1962
and put vodka in
and
it.
then just throw vodka in it and rename it. So, yes,
Yeah.
that is what Steven is drinking today. So, if you hear slushing around, those are John Daly's. We will tell
Courtesy
you.
of Robert Mobile,
We will tell you.
also known as Bud.
If you drink those in a pool, you will get drunk
Hammer drunk.
quick. There's a possibility of.
We drank like a fifth and a half of vodka that day in about an hour and 45 minutes.
Yeah, it was,
far to go.
I could feel my heart beating in my head. So,
Excuse me.
but on back to the subject of the Royal Rumble.
Yes.
So
Oh, Shelbina.
we were done with our youth shit.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
Shelbina.
Shelbina.
So
Because
July
we go
9th.
Salisbury, Shelbina, Boone County.
Yeah,
So
the
we
night.
got
Salisbury the 25th.
Yep.
Shelbina July 9th. Boone County July 21st.
And I think that the payouts in Shelbina are decent again, too.
Did
I
he
think it
go
was like
with,
1,500 for a
well,
street
if he
style.
went with what I suggested,
14.
the payouts are very nice.
I don't think stock was.
I
they're
think
pulling up their phones.
So I've got bone stock, 1,200, 600, 300, 150, and 50. We're paying down five spots. But as far as I know, the fair board is only getting 3 place trophies.
I think so.
1, 2, 3 trophies, which is fine too. You're still getting the check and the say so that you got that place. Street stock 1,500, 700, 450, 250. Compact, we've got good payouts for compact. 1,000, 500, 250, 125, and 50. And then gut and go, we've got 850, 400, 200, 100, and 50.
we try to adjust these
We'll
payouts.
have Mad Dog trophies there.
Well, who
By
makes
Zane
that?
T.
Oh
Chick.
my goodness!
I'm gonna have to get you a metal stamp so you can put Zane T on everything.
Now I will tell y'all something. I told him after I listened to y'all's podcast the other day, I said, "Dude, you're gonna be a rock star, whether you like it or not."
Hey, I've been that local rock star. It's not all cracked up. It's
It ain't. It ain't.
Your career,
It's not all glitz and glamour,
It's not.
and
It's a lot of work.
you get lonely at the top,
Yep, it's a lot of work.
and you got to take a step back.
What do they say? It's a long way to the top if you want to rock and
Rock and
roll.
roll. That's right.
I missed Derby so much while I was gone.
Are you sick of it again yet?
Yeah. Yeah, because my wallet is empty.
That's the thing. Even going back to the music side,
It never ends.
I still, at this time, almost 7 years later, I don't miss anything from practice to preparation
Yeah,
to equipment hauling to getting there. I miss the 9 to 1,
yeah,
where you miss strapping in,
yes.
going on. But
It's
you
the
don't
same shit here on this side. Even
Yes.
the driver's side, the promotion side, everything. Do you think I enjoy the 3 days it takes us before the show?
But that's
Like,
what
of
it takes.
Of the bullshit that we deal with right there.
Making
'Cause I hate that shit.
making
Like,
sure all
The
paperwork
Facebook posts, the calls, everything like that, not a big deal because you can kind of work those into your daily.
Mhm.
But those 3 days leading up to an event, that week
Wednesday,
where,
Thursday, Friday.
and it's just the 3 days for me. My wife starts the week before.
Months.
Yeah,
And
it's
but I'm
scratchy, too.
talking about the hard shit, like
Scratch.
the
And you don't want to talk on the phone.
the
Even to me.
the beer garden, the liquor license that we've got to get, the beer order, the
Food
insurance,
stand, the insurance, the people
everything
that, run
that
the
you've got to
skid
prepare,
loaders,
and then
the skid loaders.
yeah, and then it's the 3 days before for me. It's the track prep. It's the
Hold on, I get to do this time.
Oh
What's
yeah.
the pure? What
oh,
is
that's
that?
a pure
Gold.
gold.
If you've never had, if you've
Everybody's
never had
like, "What are y'all doing? What are you doing drinking them girly beers?" I said, "These
Girly
motherfuckers are
beers?
good."
These
Oh.
are better than those.
I don't care.
Oh,
These
yeah.
are good.
Lisha, do it for
So-
Cam. Do it for Cam.
We'll get you one of them here.
Hold on. I think we're about to hear another one. That's
Alicia.
Peach mango make Lish angry orchard beer or
So-
something.
Shelbina was. Well, I ran there a lot.
Yeah.
I lost. I got my butt kicked one night. Steven was watching, and Alicia was too.
Yeah, but
And
who
Alicia-
wanted to win didn't get to because you were there.
Well, yeah, but
You know,
That was a
whenever
wild
you
night.
know, okay, the best way to explain how Eddie was that night. Have you ever been in a swimming pool and there's a horsefly?
Yes.
You just
But you
can't
can't
get away
get
from
it.
the bastard. Yeah.
That was Eddie Chick that night because he didn't have the car to win.
Nope.
His car was junk when he brought it.
all right, now let's back up for a second. When I pulled in there, did that car look good?
It looked good.
It looked
know-
like an Eddie Chick car. It
Hey,
did.
my dad helped me pull that car down. It was junk.
It was
I'm
shit.
serious.
You wanted to get one more run out of it.
I needed
It was
points.
trash. Yeah.
So guess what? I did everything I could do to get points for that year. So, you know, Sean and I have been friends forever.
Yeah. And I have also thought,
Beat,
yeah,
friends,
gone back and forth.
call each other on the phone.
Him win, you win, just
So-
back and forth. Love it.
You know, I didn't figure he was. You know, usually he tries to run with me if he can.
Right.
But I understand.
A local crowd.
Yeah, so he has to do what he's got to do, and he comes after me, and then it's a party, right?
Then I got to be the one to deal with fixing it.
Oh well, we weren't fixing that son of a bitch.
That one, there's no fixing
That was one of those.
So,
you take it to the back.
The
and
whole
start
funny
pulling
thing
parts off.
was, I get out of the car and it's on fire. And it's smoking and the front is snooted. I mean, I drove the shit out of that thing.
My wife goes,
I
"What is
was
he doing?"
fine.
I
It
was
was a-
like,
It was a
"He's
racetrack.
pestering him."
It was a
What he's
racetrack.
doing. I was like, "He does not have a car to beat."
He wasn't hitting him with the nose. He was.
He was
I
hitting him with the
afraid
side.
in the pan.
I mean,
This thing was like 80
Yeah.
degrees up and for the
My
upright.
bumper was in Sean's son's face.
Yeah.
Yes.
I actually thought at one time it was higher than
So he came
Yes.
over later. He always talks to me.
Right.
Always. And I said, I didn't hurt you, did I? He said, no. And I said, well, you make sure you tell your dad I'm not mad at him.
because I think Sidney Weir burnt down a motor that night.
a brand new motor.
So I got to meet him. And they've got, there's a bunch of them guys that's got a bunch of his trophies up there.
Uh huh.
Yeah.
I
Matt
understand.
Gill got one.
Gil's got,
Sid's got
Sid's got one.
Yep.
I think keep them all in one shop, I
I
guess,
think
maybe.
I'm pretty sure they build out of usually the same shop or the same two shops.
I know
Yeah.
it's you're all talking about those trophies and keeping them in one spot. You know the Paris boys. You know Trey, Steven, Cody, all those guys. Well, Cody got that third place finish at Paris or at Halloween. He brought that trophy and put it in the shop, and it's taller than all their first place.
Oh, so
And everybody said that they still he still gives everybody shit.
Still pimps them.
Oh yeah.
So I will tell you guys, when I got the trophy at Mother's Day, I'm like, holy shit. I have one almost as big from Shelbina that I won. I took a Vic up there and won. I had ran it at Milan. So I go to Milan and I think, hey, they ain't gonna have no cars.
Wrong.
There's 100 stinking cars there.
And see, right
And
there,
I made it to fourth place.
I have to give Rob Baker just a little bit of credit.
You know what? We run a lot of his shows.
Well, my credit for Rob is coming from the confidence that I had to put on that show in Shelbina last year
Yeah,
on Labor Day.
yeah. Okay, so hey,
You know,
me and
because
Zane got there, and I'm like, son,
that was your exact thought
dude,
process
no,
too,
I'm
wasn't
like,
it?
son, look at the damn cars
'Cause
here.
it was on a Monday,
Yeah, it was his
and you were
freaking
like,
Monday.
"There's not gonna be anybody."
I'm like,
there.
ain't be nobody. I told him, I said, there's not gonna be that many cars.
And that right there is what I played off of whenever Lish went to the Shelbina Fair Board. Because I was like,
the
Yeah,
fair
but you
board-
won it.
Oh yeah, and the fair board was so skeptical, and I grew up in Shelbina. I've known
Yep.
all the people on the fair board since I was a baby. You know, they've known me longer than I've known them, and they were like, "Lish, will it work?" And I said, "Yeah."
Yeah,
I was like, "It will
I
work."
think so.
because they were like, "How confident on you?" I was like,
Okay,
69%, 70, something like that.
so yeah, you talk about
No,
confidence.
hell no, I don't tell them something like that. I was like, I'm 100% positive this should have worked.
You talk about
We're having a
that.
show.
It's just like you putting on shows. It's like us when we get there. And if you don't leave this shop and your car's not 100%, it better stay in the shop. And that's what I told him.
Right.
And Zane needs to learn that because that's how I learned.
Well, why do you think I only run two or three shows a year?
And broken axles pisses me off.
Yeah, like Halloween Havoc. My car was sitting here on the lift, and we had another car sitting over here.
2 o'clock in the morning, we finally got
my
it
shifter
done.
didn't want to work. So I told him, if we don't get the shifter, it's sitting. I'm not burning up a tranny I've already had from no park stop once.
So Kevin and I, he built trophies, and me and Kevin Rice fixed the shifter. I said, son, don't worry about it. It's going to be ready.
Which I'm glad it was because we get to see you make
I'm probably not going to run Salisbury, but I think this guy might be.
That car looks close.
So,
well, I see all thread.
There's still a door
There's a
open
rear
on
end.
it.
That door don't shut.
I was waiting.
There's like a 2-inch
it was
between the drivers and passengers.
It was in a beating accident. So we got some NLR finest.
Dad, they can't see it. This is a podcast.
But anyway, we bought some NLR stuff for the power steering. So, for me, I was nervous at Mother's Day. I don't know
Sure,
why.
first time get back in a car.
Well, I don't know. I mean,
Well, if it makes
There
you
was some
feel any
badass
better, we were
drivers there,
nervous there too. Because we didn't know what was going to happen.
We were all nervous.
No,
Yeah.
we didn't know how that shit was going to work
I'm
out.
going to tell you what, I wasn't worried about you guys at all.
We were.
Yeah.
I
I was so nervous that I went to bed at 2 o'clock the night before.
Well, how many damn drinks did
Or
you have?
A lot.
That's where
I'm blaming that on Skinny.
So check this out.
stop at.
No,
I
and
left
that was
Mexican
all
at 10 o'clock
Bobby.
that night, Eddie, and went back over to Paris, and they were still Mexican.
Yeah, so
I don't know what
you
happened.
got to be the first one there and the last one to leave to make
Yeah.
everything work.
Oh, yeah.
Period.
Which Teddy was the first one there.
Yeah, I was going to say your teammate had your back since
Right,
He was
so-
there
into the
before
track.
anybody else. Before,
He beat us all there.
yeah.
So I had everyone. I mean, some of them knew I had Justin Hill, and that dude's a wheel man. Period. And he calls me Uncle Eddie. I'm his uncle. I don't know why, but I'm his uncle. All them guys love us, and they got some of our trophies too. And he called me a month ahead of time, and then originally I wanted to ask Ted, but they had the Wisconsin show, and they got done at Whiskey City, and I'm like, oh man, he's gonna say no.
Well, that's why I was surprised whenever Rob and Trey showed up, because they had a packed schedule going on.
Yes.
You know, they were all going over to run
Just got
Whiskey
lucky.
City
Well, that's
and Jim
they got their
Paul's.
Whiskey
And,
City cars back out.
Yeah. Right.
Trey didn't have to do a whole lot. He had to do a little bit of ass work.
our
But
biggest deal at Mother's Day, and I knew it was coming. We tried to stop it. Everybody fixed it to the best of their abilities. Was the
Junior got
train
ran
set.
over by somebody. Hey, I picked on him last night about it. I'm glad he didn't hurt Junior.
This is going to keep coming up. Like,
That was.
hey, he had a good run this weekend.
Oscar?
Junior did.
Oscar?
he goes
Yep.
to Oski?
Good run down to third.
Didn't know. Honestly, there
I
was
forgot Oski was this
there
weekend.
was so much stuff going on.
There was. This is a busy weekend for the.
I got a bunch of Snapchats from Zach O'Neill, who looked like
Is
he's-
he all right?
No,
No.
but yes.
What time is it?
Where he cut his hand. It's
That's the
bad.
whole reason Junior got ran over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because of Zach.
Well, yeah.
Well, no, that was not Zach's fault. The Junior got run over.
Yeah, let's get that right.
That was our EMS that run over Junior.
Yes.
If you guys could have been there to see the look on Junior's face when he got ran over.
I wish I could have
Hey.
saw it.
Whew, it
I
was
wish I had a
priceless.
video.
If so, like Derek, out of all the times that I wish you had a dash cam on your golf.
Yeah, on your golf cart.
I wish I'd have
So
had
that
a video
would-
on the golf cart because Cedric,
I'm GoProing that bitch up at every.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah.
Cedric and Lish were going down the hill. Cedric's like just taking big power steps, and Lish is just like winging it down the hill.
Yeah.
The next thing I know, I'm like, oh shit, Junior.
Oh.
Too late.
Yeah. So
I'm pretty sure the tires squealed in the grass.
I wasn't
Pretty sure they
worried about you guys, and I called Ted and I said, "Hey man,"
Sound like he jumped right on board.
I said, "Dude, I honestly," I said, "Justin, he had to take a hike, and I understand." I said, "I'm calling you. What do you think?" He said, I don't know, I gotta get this car fixed. I said, I'll come up there and help you change motors or whatever you need. And he said, okay, we gotta win.
I was gonna say, Teddy told me when he agreed to it, he said the only stipulation was we gotta win.
I said, well, we shouldn't go to the Derby if we're not gonna win.
Yep.
Or try.
Oh yeah.
But the wheel, that hurt. I hit the cage, and my father-in-law asked me if I was taking a nap, and I don't know, but I shook it off, and
Is that whenever
oh man, my
Austin?
side was hurting, dude.
Is that when
Austin stroked you up right on the corner?
Yeah, so
Which actually, I think that hurt him worse
It
than
did. It did.
because it.
oh, it was gonna hurt because I was gonna knock his head off if I could get to him. But you know, we started at Colt. Immediately quit right behind us. All we did was tap him a couple times. I pulled up, Ted took off to the right, and I pulled up, and here come Austin. There wasn't nowhere I could go. I heard him coming. I'm like, oh, fuck, we were hitting on Colt, and we're in trouble. So I took it. I went flying backwards. I don't even think my car died. I don't think my car died once. I went flying backwards. I hit Ted going after Austin. Austin pulls up, and I'm pointing. You can see it on the video. I'm pointing my finger, and his eyes are big, and he's like, "Oh shit!" So then I'm moving around, and then somebody done jacked him. I mean, he got his wheel knocked off.
Yeah, but he did get a wheel knocked off. But I'm telling you, that dude was in pain.
That dude was hurting.
After
He come over. He come over later, and he said, "Hey, you was hit. You know." I said, "Hey, I realized what we were doing after you hit me, but." I said, "Are you okay?" And he's like, "No, I'm pretty hurt." And I'm like, "Well, I'm hurting too." But
he told me, he said, I went to that end of the track. He said, because my brain told me that your body is messed up. He said, I was going to come hang out, and I was probably going to break my stick off anyways. He said, I was hurting bad.
So I don't want nobody getting hurt, especially hitting me.
Correct.
But I will tell you, the cage I built in that car,
It's for that purpose.
it's good.
Oh, it took it. It didn't care.
It's tweaked just a little bit right there at the window post, and it's, I mean, safety first for me.
Oh yeah.
And I'm gonna put some stuff in his car
Which
because
we preach that. We've told everybody that if that shit is for driver's safety, I will never bitch.
right,
Ever.
right.
And that's what I try to tell
You know,
my
because
buddy
it
that
says,
messes you.
you know, it says 6 inches of material in there. Yes, we don't want you. We put a
We
rule
don't
on
want
it
a 12 by
because,
12.
well, yeah, we
You
put
know.
that in there because you'll end up with that one dumbass
Yep,
that comes in there with some 24-inch bridge steel
yep.
that's laying on the floor. You can't have that.
No,
But if you
and-
come in there with a 10-inch C channel or 8-inch C channel or whatever on your door, I'm not going to bitch about it.
So when it's my kid,
Yeah.
You got to push the safety.
My buddy
aspect.
messaged you. Him and his dad building a gut and go. And
They asked me about a mod compact.
yeah.
I told him no. Wait, dude.
So
He
yesterday
called
was
me.
the first time that this kid has been to a derby that is a mod compact is sitting there. I showed him Brady Smith.
Brady's car.
I looked at him. I'm like, "Are you sure you want to build this?"
A Blizzard
His eyes
dash.
got big, and he's like, "No." I'm like, "This is what I'm trying to tell you."
I tried to
You
tell
don't
him.
Because
wanna do this.
his dad called me and he was like, "Hey, I've got all these, 8 pages or whatever of rules that we've got for our compacts printed out." And I'm like, I think that if this is your first show,
That's what I'm
I
trying to
think,
Then he
and your
said-
kids want to do this, I was like, I think a gut and go would be more your style.
Start.
We got 2 weeks, boys.
I told him the same thing.
And I told him, build up that cage, because I've been in a gut and go before. It sucks. Build up that cage. And his dad kept saying, "No, I don't want to cheat. It's not cheating. It's safety. Steven's not going to care."
Right.
It's in the rules.
That's what I kept trying to tell him.
We just won't let anybody put, we don't let down tubes and stuff in the gut and go.
No.
But we do want a good healthy cage in one.
Yeah.
So
It's better than nothing.
I
Or
told
some
him,
kids swing set.
I
or-
said, you start now.
Trampoline,
You don't
T-bone.
need all that stuff.
right.
fence material.
Let's see.
But let's go with
Let's get a little bit about how Eddie got started.
Yes.
So, to the people that don't know Eddie Jake. which I know that's few and far between.
Yeah, I got people talking to me. I don't even know who they are. I know their name. I know a lot of people. And then I'm walking off and like, who the heck was that? You know.
Ask my wife.
So-
What do we do at Walmart all the time?
Every time if somebody will wave at you, say, "Hey, how you doing?" And I'm like, "Who the heck was that?" And you have to come up with some. I can't think of their name, but I met them at blah 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 blah.
Blah blah blah.
What? Derby. I'm like, oh.
Well, I had a guy the other day that was like, "Hey," it was in Shelbina at Worsland. And this guy come up to him, he's like, "How's Derby's going this year?" I was like, "We're not going too bad." And
Who the hell was that?
I don't know.
Yeah, you don't have a
That's
clue.
what I'm saying.
I get that a lot.
Wasn't it?
Well, I asked Gabe. It was whenever I went to go get a lawnmower down there. I was like, who was that? I was like, I have no clue who that was.
So I tell you, I'll tell you how I got started.
Let's hear it.
My uncle's built a couple of cars. And everybody knows I got twin uncles. Brock and his brother are twins. And I tell the story to everybody I meet that's got a twin. But this was a knock the windows out car.
Old school.
I'm taking a torch and I'm cutting the fender well out with the torch. And then, so I'm like, I don't know, 15, 16 maybe. I never drove till I was probably 19 maybe. But I would help them and they'd go out there and make 2 hits and it was dead. And we
Like,
had...
what kind of cars were they using?
69, 70 Delta 88s. There was a Mercury, what do we call it? Monaco, not a Monaco. Monterey, up the road. Miss Nettles is what they call her. She lived right there. So they bought this old car. They're like, "Hey, we're going to fix Miss Nettles' car for this derby." All right, so I helped them. That lasted about 5 minutes out there. I made a couple of hits and it died. So my first few trips out was I'm throwing dry shafts, and I ran a lot of Chryslers back then because that's what they were.
And I'm sure a lot of them were big block cars.
Yeah. So the dry shaft will fly out because I'm holding it to the floor and I'm banging gears like I'm banging it,
Old push pull.
and I'm throwing the dry shaft out. And so my dad, he showed me how to weld spider gears. I said, "You think that's going to hold?" He said, "Yep." I go out there and I put the rear end out of the son of a bitch. And then I learned how to weld spider gears the right way. You got to weld all of it. It's got a big blob of weld in there, all down the side gears, the small gears. Everything's got to be welded. And then you ain't fixing it. You're tossing it. You get a new one.
Yeah.
But it was a struggle. We didn't have much, so I used whatever I had. It cut those manifolds off. They were hanging down underneath. I had a 5-gallon can in my car when, y'all see that picture of Rob and I was in the Duster.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I was in a Dodge Duster.
Yep.
And this thing had a screaming ass 318 in it. I mean, it was screaming.
Now we're talking.
So, well, not really. But I get out there and my gas tank breaks loose because I got plumber's strap tape on the shit. Got the holes in it. Gas is going everywhere. Sparks are flying in the firewall. I'm like, oh shit, I'm going to burn up in this piece of crap. And I wasn't but like 19, 20 years old. I didn't get burned up, but there was gas flying everywhere. So, and then I quit for a few years. It seemed like everywhere we went, we were getting our butts kicked, and we had Rebel in them back in the day. All the bikers. And when you pulled in, you got like a piece of pipe on each side, a pipe behind the seat. We didn't take the dash out. I had some chicken wire or some screen on my windshield. We tried running windshields. They got mud all over them, and we couldn't see. So, I don't know. It was like 85, I guess. When I'm running this Duster, my dad said, "You're crazy. You're going to get hurt in that piece of crap." And I'm like, "I don't care." I never did get to tear it up because it quit on me.
I always kept breaking before.
I mean, I ran a little bit, but man, there were some veterans there. Gene Melloway, Larry Boyce. He's from Hallsville. I went to school with his kids. And man, them dudes, when Larry would go to the show, it was 64 Galaxies.
Hey, we've seen a few of them running around here lately.
So the dude had this Imperial. He probably won, I don't know, 10 shows or 15. Yeah. And they finally said, you're not bringing this thing back. I mean, this was the round bumper Imperial. You know, the big goes around the front. The big old boat. I mean, you want to float, you can get that thing to float. But he won so many shows, and they made him quit running. He was building those Galaxies. Gene Melloway over here was building Galaxies. And if they had a straight six in them with a 3-speed, that's what they left in it. They had 2 wires. They were touching to start it. And that's all. I see guys still doing it.
Oh yeah.
Well, it's more fail safe.
Right. But why would you do it now when you got an Iraq switch panel?
Yeah, well, we've seen those burn up. Yeah, we've seen them torn up.
Well, I ain't fucking with no wires. Because I already did that. I'm past that. Wires, so. But Larry, he had an old truck he hauled junk on. It was like a 64 2-ton Chevy. He had a headache rack over it. It had a dump on it, and he would haul junk to Kansas City on this thing. He'd put 3 cars on there, and that's how my dad, my grandpa, that's how they fed their kids. They salvaged.
Yeah.
But when he went to the Derby, he had a 64 on top of this son of a bitch. He had a 64 on here. And he had another 64 on the trailer. And he entered 3 or 4 heats. And then he took the best car to the feature, and usually he won.
Phew.
And he was a big man. I mean, big man. He was bigger than him. He's a big guy. So honestly, that's what I watch those guys.
So you've been in this game since early 80s.
Yeah.
What's your favorite car? To date.
For me now?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Now we're thinking back a ways.
My
favorite
car that I started with.
We know you had run Caddies. We know you run the Lincolns. Seen you in Chryslers.
Suicides.
The Suicide was one of my favorites. It's not my most favorite, but that thing, it was eating some lunch.
So, as what we're talking right now, the Suey is at the top of your list.
Well, I love my old Barney I had, the station wagon.
The old wagon.
I won some money with that thing. It caught fire.
What was it?
It was a Buick wagon with a 73 clip, and it was a bad bitch. It was caged all the way to the center. It had, the first couple of times I ran it didn't have nothing on the sides. So we went to Salisbury, and it was back in the day. And someone called.
Was that 90s? Mid?
No. Let's see, I already had this shop. I built the shop in 99. So it was somewhere around 201, somewhere in there, maybe. So someone called up there and told, and me and the promoter at that time, I can't remember his name. someone called up there and said, "Hey, Chick's bringing this tank." He said, I called him up and I said, "Hey, I know people probably called you." He said, "Yeah." He said, "You bring it up here," and I'm looking at it. And I was running alcohol on it.
We run that show. Uncle's did.
Yeah, so, let's see. There was a bunch from west.
Mexico.
That's east, bro.
Carrollton.
What was their names? Anyway, they had Sedagans.
Well, we all went over there. We took that wagon that had 13 runs on it. Johns's were there. Bobby Johns.
Was this the night I ran?
Burt's was there.
Yeah. It was stacked.
We followed Burt's in, and we knew what was done to his car. We'd run against him, and we had a Chevy wagon. My uncle did, and my dad took some kind of Chrysler that had a bunch of runs on it too, and then we took a Monte Carlo that had a 383 stroker in it. And we was following the Johnses in there and Burt's and all them. And Burt's went through, Tech, he got a stick, and we pulled up there. And I mean, they were all over this wagon. And we were like, "Shit, y'all just gave Burt's a stick." And they were like, "Well, hell, y'all pulled in there. You're getting a stick. We just want to see what's done to this thing. It's been run before." And we were like, "Oh, shit."
Yeah, mine was fresh.
But that was whenever the Derby was at the old arena.
Yes.
In town.
I ran a bunch of shows there.
Yeah. But we were there. I was like 11.
11 years old.
I was like 10 or 11 years old.
Wow.
I can imagine 11-year-old Steve.
I'm
Look like that.
I'm 32 now.
Say it's hard to deal with a 30-year-old Steven Adams.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's so many fun stuff that we did.
Now that you say that, I remember that car.
Yeah, it was a Barney. It looked like a damn Barney.
Yeah.
And then I painted it, what was it, black? I painted black.
Well, Eddie, out of all of the facilities that you have ran in, and I know that's a long list,
That's a lot.
where is your favorite place to run?
So that's a tough one.
I know. There's so many amazing.
Yeah, because you've been on the big stage.
Yeah, but I've got one on the top of my head that I think I know what he's going to say. But
Well, I don't know if I know what she's thinking, but I always love running my hometown show, but I don't think that's my favorite.
Too easy.
No, no.
It was there at
I
the
didn't
end.
always win,
Because you all were the ruination.
Well, we
of that
ruined
show.
it, I guess. In all honesty, they say we ruined it. But if someone spends 10 hours on a car, we're putting 40 hours in our car.
Mhm.
And that's what puts us
above and
above
beyond.
and
Well,
beyond.
and honestly, that comes back to the same issue that Derek and I have talked about a million times. We have with the Eddie Boys.
Mhm.
There were so many of you all. Whether it be you, Jake, Leroy, Rob, the whole crew, and it was, and Brandon was running, and all those guys.
We had CJ.
Yeah, everybody.
So there was like 12 or 15 of us going to the Derby.
And that's what we run into, like the Eddie Boys. They bring 6 cars.
Yeah.
Well, do those people expect them to go out there, other drivers? Like if me, just say the people sitting there, me, Derek, you, Lish, and Cy, and Bud, and Bub, and Zane, we all take cars somewhere.
Yeah, we're all out
If
there
they
running.
think we're going to go out there and just jump on each other,
Yeah, we're all out there
because you're not
running.
going to do that, because especially if it's all coming out of the same shop. Because
Somebody
I know
hits
you
her,
built your car.
that's going to be a problem.
But hold on, Steve.
Somebody better hold on, because if they hit her, I'm going to clean her
Worst part
clock.
is, I think if somebody hits her, she's gonna get that blackout focus.
Yeah, so she might turn into Psycho
She'll
Eddie.
get that angry orchard list going on.
So,
Or Lishosaurus, as we call it. Her arms get short. Her head comes forward a little bit. Starts stomping around the house. She don't talk. She just screeches.
honestly, I don't know what to say about my all-time favorite show.
I figured your favorite track would be Blizzard Place.
Yeah, I love that place, but I'm getting pissed off at it too because there's a lot of politics, I guess.
Mhm.
When I can't, okay, so I'm back a little bit.
Yeah.
But I thought about trying to get a spot in a street stock or something because I'm not running mods anymore.
Mhm.
My son done ordered me and said, "That's it, Dad. You got to quit." So
I don't want to hear him complain every time he gets out of the car.
I may run-
I'm sick of that.
I may run some limited stuff maybe sometime, but I love that track. I only won one time out there.
I was there for that.
Yeah, so Trey won. We both won right in front of our crowd,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and it was weird.
I've never seen Eddie come out of a brace so quick in my life.
So the shit was flying.
Oh, man.
I'm
he
turning
was
it off,
coming out
and
ready
Josh
for
is
an
calling me
interview.
a
This
fart.
dude is throwing shit in the car, and I mean, he wasn't even walking anymore. He was just floating out
He was just
there.
gliding.
Yeah, so Decker, and you watched the video. Decker, we saw him in the hotel. So for me, I probably done drank all day long, or, you know. And we're at the hotel, and Decker comes in. We're talking back and forth. And I said, you're going to be giving me an interview. You got to have confidence. Now, I will tell you all this. It looked like I was bagging Miss Daisy. My car run like shit the whole time. It run like shit. I don't even know how I won it. I was having so much trouble with that motor.
We know what that's like.
Oh my God. So I bring it home from there. My dad, he's like, you got a vacuum leak. Because it would foul a plug over here. They were wet, so it was not fine. He's like, you got a vacuum leak. I said, I ain't got a vacuum leak. He said, yes, you do. So finally, I done had the carburetor apart 10 times. I'm trying to figure it out. The distributor, we changed that. The module quit when I went to Carnage, and Corey ended up winning.
Right.
Honestly, I don't know. It might have been me winning.
It was the.
But
that was a good one.
But my car quit. Maybe,
Because at the end of that show, Corey's shit was hot.
Corey's was hot. Maybe somebody didn't want me to drive that night.
Very well could have been.
Maybe I would have got my head knocked off or something.
Mhm.
Something bad could have happened. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
I've run out there at Bash too, and I wouldn't say that's my favorite track.
it's on my,
It's on your top couple.
yeah.
You
I
know,
always
honestly-
love going there, and I have met so many great.
Mm-hmm.
The facilities aren't great at Salisbury, where we're putting the show on, as far as seating and stuff. But that track, they've got a badass track there.
Yeah, so
I've run on it 3 different
I might
times.
miss that.
And it's a good, that is a hard, fast track up there.
We ran there last year and we had gotten a bunch of rain right before, didn't we?
Yeah,
And
and
then it dried out. That
place
track
rains.
dried
It
out.
rains every week.
So we
Yeah.
didn't
That derby.
come up there last year.
No, you guys weren't there last year. The
Rob and all
only
them
van,
were.
Yeah.
Rob wasn't.
No,
Trey was. It was
Trey
only
was there.
van.
That's where
Yeah, so-
Teddy
right.
and all them running bands.
The only vans were there.
The only van, yeah.
Yeah.
OnlyVans.com.
Yeah, because I went out there and got hung up on Mike Martin's bumper
Mhm.
and lost reverse.
I don't like Warrenton because it always rains.
And that's where Bud run that stock Lincoln. He took an 02 Lincoln to Salisbury
Yeah.
last year that he was still shifting and starting on the column.
Yeah, I done that. I've been
I
there and
ran
done
that
that.
before.
Yeah,
I don't think your rider was very happy that night.
I'll throw my passenger. I
Yeah.
don't care.
I don't think
You were
was very-
taking shots from Joe Martin,
And a '63 Galaxy.
64, and he was struck.
Hurts, don't it?
They took the
I'm
front
pretty sure
frame
it broke his
rails.
nose again.
Oh,
They took the front
hey, I
frame
hit the
rails.
steering wheel once.
They took the front frame rails on that 02 Lincoln and took them to the passenger side about 8 inches.
Yeah.
He was steering, and it was all he could do to just fight it to get it to turn. 'cause-
So that's what I was doing at Mother's Day because it blew. The smoke everyone saw wasn't my transmission.
power steering.
Yeah. It blew the hose off of the damn thing.
Well, his wasn't
The
a
little
power steering issue. It was a frame rail
Oh,
the
yeah.
tire issue.
Yeah, so
Geometry
yeah,
issue.
there ain't much you can do.
I ran.
Which we bought that car for $200, took it home, welded 4 plates on it,
We bought it like 4 days before the show.
Pulled the front end down as hard as we could, Cole Bennett, put 6-inch spacers in the core support, and he sent it. We welded the gears up on it real good, and it was gone.
Sounds like a car that I'd buy.
Well, we ripped the back frame rail off of it trying to pull the hump out.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, I
It's
did
a
that.
tree.
Yeah,
The hump
It's
was
true.
skid
split
loader.
We had
the,
a tree and
we
a
had the
skid
front
loader.
hooked to a tree, and the skid loader hooked to the
Yeah.
back.
He brings it to my house still on the trailer. He's, come here. Walked out. He's like, how's this going to do? It's like,
It's
make
gonna-
sure he leads with the other side first.
Exactly.
Well, you guys didn't do too bad that night.
I was pissed off because he took a bullshit $200 car,
And
got
almost-
fourth, and I
yeah,
had a
almost
$5,000 car.
Went in my heat, consi, and features.
Yes, he had to go through consolation.
Well, now that you were back, Eddie, what's your summer looking like this year?
Well,
I think it's going to be a summer of Zane T.
he's going to run next, I'd say.
I just want to try to hit Shelby.
Well, everybody,
You mean
everybody we talk to wants to hit Shelby.
You want to hit
So Shelby or
Shelby
Salisbury?
is the
Salisbury and
best.
Shelby.
Oh, yeah. So he wants to run both of them.
Those little cherry cakes.
So I think for me, he's going to run, and then I'm going to run. I'm going to take 2 cars somewhere.
So, are you at the point right now in your life and career and where it is time for the son to come in and start working his way up, and then you kind of just start fading yourself out, where maybe you'll run a couple times a year instead of like back in the day, 10 years ago, you guys are running.
Well, shit, it
2 or
wasn't
3
10
times
years
a
ago.
month.
It wasn't 10 years ago.
10
When did you run for the points? What was that, 5
I was
years ago?
19.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
a
we
couple
ran,
years ago. But
18.
I'm saying 10 years ago, he was everywhere, and then there wasn't any
I don't
points.
even know
back
how I
then.
made all those shows.
Friends.
2003, I had open heart surgery.
Mhm.
So that knocked me down for a whole year. And I had my buddy, he was a bareback rider, a bronc rider, Dave Grayson. He made me a vest. And I wore that thing. We went to Hawk Point, Rob Baker. And I wore that thing. And I turned a guy over twice over there, my first show back. But he's running.
We've
I
got to
gotta
see.
kind of pick and choose because I work for Emory Sap now,
Right.
and
I
we're
know
gonna have to
about
start
that
working
shit.
some Saturdays because we're behind. So that's gonna,
You think it's the rain that's causing that?
yeah, no, not really. No, I don't think so.
I work it
But-
another week.
So I gotta play that game with work. Honestly, that's probably the best job I'm ever gonna get.
Must be better on your end than it is mine.
Well, I mean, I drive a truck, so I don't know.
Well, they probably throw him around wherever they need him.
Right.
All I get thrown around depends on who's loading me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how it's
I may try to hit the Royal Rumble.
Oh,
Did I just?
That's a heavy hitter.
Maybe.
I said it on the last podcast. I think that show will be somewhere they're running
I think you're going to see people step down, like
Well,
you said.
stocks,
feel
and
like-
those mod cars, and they're like, "Hold on, this thing's gonna pay $3,000 to win. I'm not gonna have 2 months on the
Minimum
bill."
$3,000.
Yeah, minimum $3,000 to win. There's already people jumping on.
We've
board.
got people throwing money at this show.
Yeah, so we can't, like I said, we can't give for sure what it's gonna. End
We
up
can
being.
give a minimum though, and I guarantee it's going to pay $3,000. And I don't care if only 15 people sign up.
I honestly, I feel like I should go run that show with something.
Which we talked. We talked at P Hill. and
Yeah.
I will say, I'm going to sit here and say this. Eddie was the one who asked, was one of the guys that asked, I said, man, why do you guys do these things at these shows? And I told you exactly. I said, we don't want to be the cookie cutter promotion company that you see the same shit every show.
And-
we want to do something different for the drivers,
Yep.
for the
The
spectators.
only thing that it does mess up a little bit is our points, which I've got to release that next week. We're going to do some
Points.
kind of point series.
This year?
Yeah. It's going to start in Salisbury.
Yeah.
Are we
Because
gonna count
we
the
couldn't-
Mother's Day Madness stuff in there?
Well, we couldn't.
No, we can't do that because
either
TV shows.
you and Ted went out and won it, okay? But say you would have won it, but Teddy could have been the second car out. You can't give him points
Right.
for something that you ended up doing, even
Yeah.
though you were a team.
Right.
you can't really gel those two together.
Yeah, I
and
can
it's
see
fair,
that. Yeah, no, I see that.
You know, so
So I think our point series stuff is it's gonna be a little different this year, and it is. I mean, it's gonna be rough coming through, but
Fucking points.
And now there has been talk. We are going to have a cash prize for points. We don't know exactly what that's going to be yet.
correct.
There will be a trophy for it for sure.
Trophy and plaques for the top,
For sure.
however
Yeah.
many we decide, or
For sure. But I have kicked around the idea of giving away a roller car for the winner of the stock class.
Like a 9802.
Something like that.
Good, clean
Just a
roller.
good, clean roller.
Points is hard.
how are we going to announce the points and give away those prizes and stuff? Are we planning on doing something?
They will come down the points the way I figured it. And like I said, there's some polishing we're going to have to do on all of it. But the point series will come down to Halloween Havoc.
Okay,
so we'll do everything at Halloween.
Yep.
Havoc?
let me ask a question.
Now, if we have 170 cars, you might as well be prepared for a long night.
Is the points for everyone, or are you just going to
Individual class.
Every individual.
every individual?
Yeah.
class?
So even the gut and goes.
Yeah, we're going to give the gut and go
We don't
guys a
think
chance.
it's fair when you can get a gut and go and you can throw it together in a day or two.
Yeah, because
When you try to get multiple runs out of a car,
A street stock, that's crazy.
yeah.
well,
So there has to be some justification of difference in that.
Honestly, the stock car guys are the losers on the whole deal.
I'm going to tell y'all right now. I'm going to have 2 setups.
And a lot of
Sounds
people
like
in your
3.
situation do. They have,
Well, I got 3.
Wow.
3.
I'm going to tell you, I'm going to have a second
Till he
setup.
lets me drive a street stock setup. He ain't
I got enough shit to do 2 classes.
Oh,
And
and
then
now-
back, we talked. He's been in the game long enough. He didn't get that shit right off jump.
No,
Right.
Yeah,
and
he's worked his way.
honestly,
we have worked and honestly preached it since we started this podcast. I'd even talked to everybody because you see these kids, and even the guys bitching on the internet. Man, it costs so much to do this. Well, you didn't build that setup overnight.
no, I did.
You didn't go out and spend $10,000.
I tell people that. I will tell you this: you can drop 50 easy,
Oh yeah,
not $50.
oh yeah.
yeah.
Well, just
Nothing's $50 anymore.
like whenever I finally drew into Blizzard Bash, it was a month before the show when they did the drawing. Whenever I got into the bone stock class.
If you're checking out,
I said, hey, we're going to go run this. And she's like, all right, yeah, let's do it. You've got a car. I was like, oh, yeah, I've got a car. And after that, for the next 2 weeks, it was just money.
oh yeah,
I got to have this.
no,
I got to have this.
my money wasn't flying, and then I come back to Demolition Derby, and I ain't got no money left.
Right.
Yeah. And I think that's the same way on any sport.
So
Any
I,
hobby like this, especially a motorsport hobby, you are going to have quite a bit of money in anything you
Well,
do.
shit, our son with youth football.
Yeah.
right. So check
Where he
this
started
out.
the other day, we're going to have $500-600 a night.
Think about
took-
these the parents with these kids that play travel ball, whether it's baseball, softball,
Yeah.
basketball.
Anything.
Oh,
You figure
Hey.
$800 a weekend.
Hotels every weekend.
I work with the guy at Emerysat, and he says, "Hey, I heard you got a son at Hallsville." I said, "Yeah, but he ain't playing football.
Well, sports sitting right there.
Yep.
He ain't doing football."
Yeah.
I asked him. He said, "Dad, it's like the baseball. You remember we had him in baseball, and he about popped the coach's kid in the nose, and the nose thing is my fault because
Hey, it works.
Ever since he was a kid, I said, you punch somebody in the nose, they're gonna leave you the fuck alone.
It works too.
They're gonna leave you alone.
Well, and we teach our kids the same thing. If somebody is messing
Somebody's
with you
messing
enough,
with you, you take up for yourself.
And
Or
if you-
somebody else. If you see him fucking with somebody else.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, that's a big thing. With our 10-year-old, he came to us last year, right after he
What do
been
I do
riding
about
the bus.
this, right?
And he's like, this kid keeps picking on me and hitting me, not hard, but hitting me. And I was like, have you told him to stop? He's like, I've told him every day for a week.
And I asked him immediately.
And
Did
I
you punch
said-
them bitch time go like that?
And I said, you tell them that you're going to hit them the next time they do that.
And I
he-
said, don't tell him.
well,
Yeah.
and he was like, well, it's a girl.
Oh,
And I was
said, well,
like,
kick her brother's ass.
yeah.
you know, you can only get so far with being nice, you know, and that's what we try to, how everyone, you know,
And I
I
did,
hope
I
tries
told
to
her.
raise our children.
Yeah.
You know, be nice, be nice, be nice. But when it gets to the point where they're abusing you or picking on you or doing whatever,
And I did. I
She
told her.
probably had the hots for him.
Yeah.
And at the
Well,
age
I'd
of
say
10
that's
years,
what
that's
happened.
how they're.
And I did. I told him straight up. I said, whip his brother or whip her brother's ass.
I was there for that.
And
Yeah.
make him tell his sister to stop because you can't do anything to his
Yeah.
sister.
Or
But
he's
he
gonna
can.
get, or he's gonna get another ass whooping.
Yeah.
and
And just keep kicking the shit out of her brother. And then I asked him, I was like, well, what's her mom look like? And then I got dirty looks back.
Yeah, so you should get a dirty look.
Well,
She should slap you around and
I
slap your beard
told
I was
him-
going to send Alan Brown over there.
Yeah, let's
You see that door? Yeah.
Well,
So,
we were actually supposed to be at Alan Brown's shop this weekend.
yeah.
Them guys.
I mean, you
couple of
guys didn't have to rush over here.
A couple of them went to the shop. Well, we trying to been getting you on the schedule forever, and
We're all good. You can come back.
Well, when we took a month
Anytime.
off,
We're a couple weeks behind because of all the new equipment
Yeah.
that we've been waiting on. And so we've had you guys on the list and the Browns
Yep.
and a couple other people. So we wanted to make sure we got to somebody this weekend and you guys were available and
Yep.
we wanted to come over here.
I got a couple questions for Eddie. What number do you run on your car? Like, what's your-
311C.
311C.
What does that number have as significance? Is it something that your
Okay.
family ran and
I'll
it's
tell
been passed
no,
to you?
I'll tell you where that came from. I ran the number 3 at Midway. They had a show at Midway in the horse arena. And I ran the number 3. You know, back in the day, Troy Ennis run 911, the Ennis Appliance guy.
Mhm.
And he run Dodge. We all run Chryslers or whatever we get a hold of. And his uncle cracked me up. He could ram his thumb into a refrigerator box
oh my!
and put a hole into it. We call him Uncle Asshole. But Troy he's run 911. Rob kind of took it over. I ran it a couple of times, and Rob wanted it, so he got it. So I ran this number 3 at Midway. 2-door Impala. I bought for probably $150. I don't know. I bought it.
You know how many people would love to get a hold of a 2-door Impala right now?
I bought it from the.
$950.
I bought it from the Just Jeff's guy
Oh,
with the hot dog carts and
Uh-huh.
stuff. He worked at Perry Chevrolet, and he had it. And I said, "Hey man, I'll take that car." I ended up getting. I took it to Capitol Speedway. Me and Ernie Timbrook went down to first and second. And he took the win. But I ran that car so many times. It was dragging in the ground, and it had a stock drive shaft, and I'm still driving it. So I'd already progressed and quit throwing dry shafts. Thank God for sliders. So I bought that car, and I don't know. It just kind of moved from there. It was Impalas. And you know, we junked cars. We'd stand them up and junk them.
Mhm.
Now I'm pulling the shit and I'm fixing it.
oh yeah.
But Ford's, I run the Crown Vics and shit, and that taught me how to. Honestly, I think that's where I learned to wheel a car from. Was that?
Following size question, Zane T. You gonna stay with the 1776? You gonna run America's number, or what are you?
My original number was 9/16, and Marble, I had no clue what number I wanted.
I was waiting for 113 to come out. I really was.
I tried to get him to do something like that, and he didn't want to be like the other 3 of us.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, but like we got a wrench in there. No matter what we did here at the track, it was always a 9/16 wrench.
Yeah.
So that's always what I chose. And then I thought patriotic stuff, might as well. 1776.
Josh Coward,
America's birthday.
and they built that for him and brought it to Halloween Havoc.
I didn't know I was getting it.
He didn't know.
I
I don't even know how we kept a secret.
I knew.
I told him at the gate, my number is 9/16. I get back from Tech after sitting there for 2 hours or something, and there's a sign sitting in the bed. I'm like, wait a minute. Something ain't right here.
Yeah.
Hold up. Wait a minute.
Oh, he was happy as large. And then the frickin' carburetor was leaking everywhere.
Well,
I'm like,
Eddie kind of declared himself to come to Boone County, and he runs through 11. You know, Royal Rumble style. Stone Cold's over was off of 316.
yeah.
I think we need to have Chick 316 because he's good for ass.
He's got to draw into that just like everybody else.
Yeah, so, and I don't know, something may happen and I may not be able to do it. But I'm going to try. I don't know. I think I should try it.
But everything's moving pretty fast. Like I said, we're in the middle of June already.
Yeah.
You know, so we've got.
My birthday's coming up.
I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to run all these stinking shows.
We've got a lot on our plate to get finished lined up.
Yeah.
I know for a fact that Boone County Fair has already announced on their end. They haven't announced any payouts or none of that on their page.
That's me a little bit. I've got to get over there. I've got to go do that.
You might get ringed out this week.
You know what slackers do? They slack.
That's me.
So
Procrastinator.
So that's
Professional
why.
right here.
That's,
Professional.
yeah, I'm a professional, but so that's why I chose that number. That's where it came from. There was a guy. What the hell was his name? He started running 311, and it was a rival. And I said, well, every time we're gonna run into each other every time. So I had to put something on the end of it. So my name's Chick. So there you go. So a lot of people start calling me Antique, which I got the sign over there.
Oh yeah.
But y'all,
There's another sign over there.
no, I
too.
brought the old school. That was my first sign that I took them out. That big.
the teepee.
Oh yeah.
There's the third one sitting back
Oh
there.
yeah, my A-frame. It's back there in the back. Yeah, I gotta get it relettered. I changed it up with that, so the ones have Stacy and Zane in them.
Uh-huh.
You
One
remember?
half blew off the car.
Yeah, one
Come
half
home.
blew off, and guess where the other half went? It's in his room, hanging out. So I got to get that fixed. You know, you're hurt and you ain't messing with it.
So you all ready for this year? I mean,
Yeah.
getting ready.
So I
Well, I mean, there's already a beer can on my all thread,
Yeah.
and the car's not done yet, so.
I thought
I
that
did that.
justified of when the car was done.
I did that.
Well, if that's the case, then I got a bunch of cars behind my house that are done.
They got beer cans on there. So, hey, I'm gonna try to hit everyone I can hit, and I spent all my money from Mother's Day on 2 cradles.
I see them.
I broke my damn block almost. So guess what?
You did break the block.
You-
broke the
yeah.
threads in
Yeah,
it.
you definitely broke an ear.
I want to tell y'all, people don't do this, but I do. And if you want to stay ahead of the game, you got to have good shit.
Oh yeah.
It's got to run,
You got to have good parts.
and I'm not having no damn broken axles.
Well, this has been killer. Glad to have you all on.
We like to go remote. It is a change.
Well, we appreciate it.
Well, I like to change the scenery. It keeps the redundancy
I
down.
know we probably didn't get everything talked about.
Well, there's always another day.
Yeah. So, before we quit, you know, I asked you guys about the Wheelman Award. Do you think we should try to do that? We're on the air. Who cares?
You know, we've talked
That's
about
just
it.
something I'm.
That's something we have talked about, you know, not only with our Mad Dogs, but having a Wheelman Award. Because
Or, you know, what do
This-
they call it?
there's other things that people do out there, not just the Mad Dog.
The
not
fighter,
just
you know,
first,
the-
second, and
So
third.
that's okay. So, you know, I was gonna
Because
bring-
like Landon Wynn would have got that.
he would have. So
At Mother's Day.
I don't.
Yeah.
I know I didn't get it. I did wheel my car to the wind.
You bagged. Like you would have got the Sandbagger Award.
No, I was looking for some Grey Poupon. But so I
Guess
thought
what? Guess what?
that would be something.
The bank didn't care.
The bank didn't give a
They
shit.
didn't ask you how you drove?
No.
When you
They
cashed
didn't
that
ask me how
filthy
many
check.
cars. So I honestly, I was going to bring that award. I would like to bring that, but
That's gonna be his. I'm sticking
He's
with
not-
my Mad Dog division.
That
You
could
get
be
your own parts
something
too,
we could
'cause I'm
talk
sorry.
about.
We could,
for
well, if
the-
we wanted to try that, if you all are planning on trying to draw into Boone County. Or
I will tell you something, and the guy ain't got to win.
No.
No.
Just like I'm saying,
It's
it's
not
not
about the
about
winning car.
Just like the Mad Dog Award.
Dude,
too,
Landon
that's
would
not
have. If
always
anybody
a
deserved the
winning.
Wheelman Award,
Honestly, I was almost. I will tell y'all this. Before we went to Mother's Day, I almost made one and brought it.
we're open to that shit because people like to get stuff.
Well, and
But I tell you
They
what
like
happens to
recognition.
me.
we were
I'm
always
patient.
looking for sponsors. You know, like Zane's a sponsor of our Mad Dog because he, in a way, donates those trophies. He spends his time,
Yeah.
his effort, his spare parts.
He cost us $100 a show,
And they're
maybe.
cool.
It doesn't even
And-
cost us because he spends
That's
enough
what I'm saying.
on those trophies.
And they're cool.
That, yeah, and
Everybody
they are
wants
badass.
to win.
If I could get the trophies that I give out on a regular basis
Yeah.
for $100, I might go back to doing those favors behind that dumpster.
So the big did I say this earlier? The big trophy. The
Where'd you
other night
put that?
At Mother's Day. It's by our fireplace, so we never use it.
It's in
So
the house. It's
I don't know if I said this earlier, but it was Zane's birthday the next day.
Uh-huh.
So
I was sitting in the car.
He was-
my grandparents and everybody else.
everybody was right
sitting by.
there.
I
I
was
go over
sitting
and
in
get
the
it.
car. I told them, if y'all start singing Happy Birthday, I'm fine.
Yeah, we did.
Driving
And
off.
he tried to drive the car.
Oh, I hopped
I almost
I
saw
was
my
going.
grandpa. I said, dude, shut the dang thing off.
I was loading this thing.
I wasn't gonna sing happy birthday, but I did tell you happy birthday.
Check this
over
out.
there, so.
I walked over there and I give it to him. I said, here you go. I want that for you. For his birthday. So he, when I won that other big trophy at Shelbina that year, it was
Yeah, it's still sitting
2011.
in his room. He
A
still
20
sleeps with it.
now.
He still sleeps.
It's like your Catholic teddy bear.
Yeah, so I won the other tall one at Shelbina, and it's right there, and yeah, it's taller. But I won that, and I said, here you go. I won that for you, son.
We spent 20 minutes just trying to figure out where
Figure out where we're going to haul it.
And that right there is why we do what we do.
Yeah.
Eddie,
So,
the first time I went to pick the trophies up for him, I had to lay them across the back seat.
yeah, so you're like, what am I going to do with this?
But anyway, it was great having you all on.
Okay.
Derek,
We'll
you want
do
to
it
close
again.
this thing
We'll
up?
do it again.
Yeah.
We got some big stuff coming up. There's some big shows everywhere east of the Derby, east of that river. Next weekend, which we will be in attendance.
Yeah, we're gonna. As long as I don't have to work Saturday.
Well, I will at least be there, even if some
Yeah,
roadie
I'm
doesn't
not
get to
going
go.
to make it.
Thinking about a career change.
Well,
Full-time derby.
We're full-time dumpster hopping.
There you go. Those favors
I might
behind
come
the
up with a
Derby.
chicken bone or something.
but we appreciate you guys
Yeah.
hanging with us. We appreciate you guys hanging out while we had a little hiatus for a few weeks waiting on equipment. We still actually don't have all our equipment. It's
Still waiting on a laptop.
It's just going. It's in the air somewhere. So
Yeah.
It's in the cloud.
yeah, it's in an iCloud, I'm guessing. So we will see you guys next week, same time. We'll see you Thursday.
We're back.
I'm Eddie Chick.
And I'm Zane T. Chick.
Thank you for listening to Hard Nosed Derby Podcast.
Make jump, boys.